What's up YouTube, how goes it? So a couple weeks back we did a review of the Asus G15 ROG Strix laptop and you guys loved that. But you guys wanted more Asus. In particular, you wanted the Asus TUF laptop review. So I am here to deliver and I am going to do a quick unboxing and first impressions in today's video. So stay tuned, get excited, get ready because we're starting now. As always guys, if you enjoyed this video and my content in general, consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me grow and keeps me motivated to provide more for you guys. Before I get into the unboxing itself, I just want to quickly give you guys a rundown of the specifications I have on this particular variant. So I have the Ryzen 9 series processor on here with 8 cores. That's a lot of power. I also have 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. I have RTX 2060 on here with 6 gigabytes of video RAM. Additionally, you'll find 500 GB SSD included in this particular variant. You also have Wi-Fi AC plus Bluetooth on board. You have a 15.6-inch screen that has a 1080p resolution. It runs at a 144 Hz refresh rate, which is adaptive sync, mind you, and also it has an approximate brightness of 284 nits with 65% RGB. Moving on to the unboxing, as you can see, the Asus TUF has a pretty generic cardboard labeling with the TUF branding. On the back side, you have some battery warning labels and the specifications of the laptop, nothing too fancy. Next, we move on to remove the content seal. Once you remove the content seal, the box opens pretty quickly and right away we get to the goodies. The first of which is an interesting sticker booklet. This is really nice. You actually have a bunch of Asus TUF logo stickers here. Pretty cool. Anyway, beyond that, you have the laptop itself, but we'll come back to the laptop in just a second. Beyond that, you just have your standard instruction manual and safety booklet, just your usual stuff, nothing fancy. Past that, you can remove the cardboard placement, and beneath that, you'll find two very important items. The first of which is the wall outlet cable, just a standard one, and of course, beyond that, you have a 230 watt charging brick, which is pretty hefty and large. It does have a fair bit of weight, but considering the specs in this laptop, that's totally expected. Lastly, in the third placement, you also have a SATA extension cable and the screws that come along with it. Coming back to the laptop itself, once you remove the soft cloth, here it is, the Asus TUF. Definitely cold and factory fresh. Now that we've talked about what comes inside the box, let's talk a little bit about the laptop design itself. Starting with the top of the laptop, you can see that you have a fully covered aluminum sheet top side, so it is a nice metallic feel. You do have 4 pseudo screws on either side of the laptop. This gives it that military type look. You also have a plastic hinge with the TUF branding on there. Additionally, you also have your indicator lights. And also in the dead center of the laptop top side, you can see you have the TUF branding there as well. It looks nice. Going to the side of the laptops, you have a few things going on in terms of I/O ports. So on one side, you have 2 USB 3.0 ports. You have a headphone jack. You also have a USB-C port. Additionally, you have a full-sized HDMI port, an Ethernet jack, and of course a DC jack. On the other side, you have a lonely standard USB port. There are no other ports on this laptop. As you come towards the rear side of the laptop, it's pretty nice to see that Asus has 2 dedicated vents on either side of the laptop. Additionally, you also have another vent on the side of the laptop. These are all for intaking air. Each one has a heatsink placed with it. So there's a lot of cooling going on here, and it's pretty impressive also because Asus kept the body fairly slim for the TUF series, but it doesn't look like they compromise a whole lot on cooling. In terms of the bottom side, you have a honeycomb-like design. You also have a couple of passive vents for additional air take for the cooling system. You also have 2 speakers, so it's a stereo setup on either corner of the laptop. But beyond that, it's just a hard TPU design, not much else to see. Once you open up the laptop, right away you can see you have a medium-sized trackpad. Thankfully, you do have a dedicated left and right click keys. I hate it when laptops try to combine the trackpad, especially if it's not a good clicking experience. Moving past that, you have a full keyboard with 10 keys included. Now this is one key difference between the G15 ROG Strix and the TUF, is that if you like having your 10 keys on a 15-inch laptop, you get that over here, whereas opposed to over there, you don't. Moving past that, the keyboard is fully RGB lit, and you also have some transparent keys like your WSD keys, which indicate this is a gaming laptop. The travel is pretty decent. It's a 1.5mm travel. It's not the best keyboard I've typed on, however, it's definitely a pleasant experience to say the least. One thing I noticed about the keyboard right away is that Asus put the smallest arrow keys they could find on this thing. I don't know why they did that, but it's definitely there. Moving past that, you'll notice there's a lot of empty space beyond the top side of the keyboard, and there's a lot of texture going on. I feel like Asus could have included dedicated media keys, which they haven't here. All the media keys are combined with the function keys. On the palm rest, you have some standard branding going on, but there's not a whole lot more to see in terms of the keyboard and trackpad. Moving on to the display, you can see that you have a pretty fat chin at the bottom of the laptop. You have your Asus branding there as well. However, the rest of the bezels are pretty thin, and I like that. You have a nice 15-inch anti-glare screen, so this laptop should do great in bright environments, especially when you have direct sunlight pointing at you. You also have a 720p webcam included here, which is also a big difference compared to the G15, which does not have that. Now, I have to say, Asus really doesn't use high quality displays. This is a 65% sRGB display, so color accuracy is not the best I've seen. Also, 284 nits is nothing to brag about. While it is bright enough for indoor settings and to an extent outdoor settings, the brightness level falls far behind competitive brands, which offer 300 plus nits of brightness level. So if you are someone who's doing photo or video editing, you may want to consider other laptops because color accuracy is not a priority on this laptop. Before we move past design, I want to point out one more thing, and that is the hinges on the Asus TUF. Originally, I was skeptical because the hinges are pretty small and they're in the corner of the laptop. However, this is a pretty sturdy laptop. It doesn't seem to wobble a whole lot when you're moving the hinge around, and it seems like it'll do well against the test of time. Because I've only had this laptop for a couple of days, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to play around in terms of performance, but I will tell you this much. As far as day-to-day tasks like web browsing, watching 4K content, or even light editing goes, this laptop will just breeze through it. You have a lot of power with that 4900H processor in there. Additionally, even as far as gaming goes, I can tell you this laptop does great thanks to the RTX 2060 in there. I found when playing Doom Eternal, I was able to play on ultra high settings, and I was constantly hitting 60 plus FPS. If you want to hit the 144 Hz, you will have to lower your settings, but I'll say that performance is definitely there. If you guys are interested in seeing a full gaming benchmark video, let me know in the comments below and I can look into making one for you. All in all, my impression of the Asus TUF is that it's a sturdy laptop. It does cheap out a little bit on the build quality, so while the top of the laptop seems really premium, by the time you get to the bottom of the laptop, Asus has decided to use cheap TPU material, but that's standard with a lot of laptops in this price range. You're getting a lot of performance. The Ryzen 9 really stands out, and that RTX 2060 can give you a great gaming experience. Overall, there are a few other things that I would want to cover about this laptop, so I will be making a full review video, but until then, I hope this helped you make a decision if this laptop might be right for you, or if you want to go with a different laptop. In any case, if you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing to my channel. It really does help me grow and make more videos for you guys. Until next time, Soul of Tech, logging out.